Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Yosha and I'm your go-to girl for all things real. Today's video is going to give you some advice on how to handle going through your pregnancy alone. I received a couple of DMs and questions about this and some of my other content about baby daddy related stuff. I actually have a whole playlist, everything about when to leave your baby daddy, how to get over your baby daddy, and life after being with your baby daddy once you heal and move on, and just working on your life, like how to forgive, how to move forward, co-parenting, dealing with him being absent. Like the whole nine is in that playlist. But I don't have a dedicated video that discusses dealing with pregnancy by yourself. And I know that there are so many girls, women going through this, and I'm just here to encourage you. Like, you're able to do it. None of us go through things that we can't handle, even though a lot of things that happen suck. It doesn't mean that we won't be able to handle it. It doesn't mean that this is our life forever. It just is a season in our life. And I want you to understand that you don't have to settle just because you got pregnant. You deciding to choose to keep your baby does not mean that you have to settle for less. It does not mean that you deserve less. It does not mean that you're not worthy. You are going to go through changes emotionally, physically, mentally. It's going to be difficult, but I encourage you to do what's best for you and your baby. If you're going to keep your baby. If you're not going to keep the baby and you still got pregnant and you decided, hey, I don't want to keep the baby, this still applies to you. Like, you're still worthy of love. You're still worthy of forgiveness. You're still worthy of someone that will treat you the way that you deserve to be treated. None of these videos have ever been with the intention to bash men or bash good fathers. It's just to tell you all to take heed of bad relationships, toxic relationships, emotionally and physically abusive relationships, where someone is mistreating you and you've been staying around because y'all been together for X amount of years. Y'all have 3 or 4 kids or 1 kid, or this is all you know. The fear of not knowing keeps us in situations that we should not be in. And I'm here to encourage you to leave things that do not serve you. That includes your baby daddy, and it might even include your husband. If your husband is cheating on you, abusing you, not treating you the way that you deserve to be treated, and you don't see a sign of change, you don't have to stick around just because you said I do. And you don't have to stick around just because you have this man's baby. You don't have to stick around because you're cool with his family and blah, 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 blah. And the list goes on. Like, you don't have to put up with that. It is a new day and age. You can be independent. You can get there without him. You just have to make the steps and move forward. And it's harder to get on with it if y'all are still living together. I understand that. I actually made a video about how to move on while living together. And it also takes an action plan. Like, you're not going to be able to move on if you're still being intimate. I've said this in multiple videos, but cut the sex out of it and only make it about the kids. Don't worry about who he's with. Don't worry about where he's going unless it's something that pertains to the co-parenting situation. Like, if he's supposed to be babysitting, well, I don't even want to say babysitting because it's not babysitting when it's your kid. But if he's supposed to be watching the kids and he bails to go do something else, then that kind of does make it your business. But then that's when you have to understand the type of man that you're with. If he's not reliable, then don't rely on him. If he shows you that he's not going to show up, stop expecting him to show up, because you're the adult in the situation. The kids are not the adult in the situation. So they're not going to learn that lesson after 1 or 2 times, but you can. You have to set a time frame in your mind, like, okay, he said he's going to work on these things. I'm giving him until this time to work on these things. Don't even tell him that you're giving him the time frame. Just let time reveal it to you. And if you see that he's not making an effort, that's when you have to decide to move forward. Pregnant or not, baby number 2, baby number 3 or not, it does not matter. You have a responsibility to yourself and to those children to do better. And if he doesn't want better, if he wants to keep screwing around and messing up his life, let that be his choice. Don't let that be your life. You know, life is short. You could pass away at any moment. And I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just telling you from experiences that your life could be gone in any instance. A car accident, a illness. After losing my mom when I was 16 years old, losing my sister at 27, I just have a different mindset about living life to the fullest and really being happy. You don't deserve to be in a miserable relationship. When you go through things, it may not always be easy. It may not always be cupcakes and rainbows and lollipops, and I'm not trying to tell you that it is. What I'm trying to say is your love should not hurt more than it feels good. Your love should not make you feel like you're not yourself anymore. Your love should not drain you. And if it is, you got to figure out why that is, and you have to get yourself out of that. If you have to leave, you have to leave. Going through pregnancy by yourself is difficult. I'm not going to lie. As y'all know, if you're new to my channel, you don't know, I'll link the video above. I have a couple videos about this, but I went through pregnancy mostly alone. My ex had cheated on me while I was pregnant. He'd been cheating on me before I got pregnant. But I found out that he was cheating on me while I was pregnant, and I left the relationship. Once I found out, I was embarrassed, I was hurt, I was upset because I just announced that I was pregnant publicly, and I've always been on YouTube. I've always been on social media. So it was more embarrassing because it was like I just announced this exciting news and now I'm single. I wasn't single when I announced it, but like a week later, here I am single. It hurt. It hurt a lot and it made it hard, but I had to do what was best for me. I'd never been a woman that was just okay with someone cheating on me. I'd never been a woman that was into open relationships, and we were not on the same page. So I left the relationship and it was hard. I missed him. I still have feelings for him. I still wanted my family, but I didn't want to be with somebody that didn't respect me and that wasn't faithful to me. So I made the hard decision. You know, life is hard. You got to choose your heart. Your heart can be you sticking it out with somebody that doesn't appreciate you, that can bring you a STD, that can make you feel crappy about yourself. Or you can choose your heart and heal from someone's damage and move forward with your life. It's not going to be easy either route, but you got to choose your heart. Then after he and I broke up, about a month later, he got arrested, and he had been in and out of jail, hence all the videos on my channel about Bay in prison and that playlist. And he missed my son's birth. He was in jail for 13 months. We were not together when he got in, but we were communicating. We were working it out. He was still doing his stuck thizzle, cheating with other women and stuff, which is why I love Love After Lockup so much. I always joke and say that like I could have been on that show. If that show would have been out when we were together, me and him could have made some money. We could have made some money, okay? The point is that I had to go through that and he was not there. And I was single and pregnant and I had to finish school and I had to find a job and I had to figure it out by myself. I was young. I was 22 I was 21 and 22 while I was pregnant. I moved back in with my dad. That was hard because I was planning on moving out and in with friends and possibly going to grad school. I had to find my internship in a matter of months while I wasn't showing. I had to find a job while I wasn't showing. I worked and didn't really announce my pregnancy to anybody. I just kept working and I kept hustling until I was about 4 months, and that's when I started telling people that I was pregnant. I knew I was pregnant at 5 weeks. My mentality had to change quickly. Like, even while we were still together, my mentality changed. I'm like, I gotta graduate. I'm due after I graduate, so I can still graduate. You know, if I keep myself healthy and the baby doesn't come early, I can still graduate. So that's where my mindset went. Internship, job, you know, taking care of business because I will not mess up my life. I did not work hard and apply for scholarships after my mom passed away to go to college to have to not finish because I got pregnant by my high school sweetheart. And we done broke up and got back together 5 and 6 times at this point. So that's how I handled that. It was hard. My dad did not want me to have the baby. He hated, or I won't say hate is such a strong word. He did not like my son's father. And so pregnancy was hard because I didn't have support. My sister was still alive and well when she found out. She was very negative about it, but she supported me. But she was just like, you know, are you sure that this is what you want to do? That was hard emotionally. I know a lot of you ladies, if you've had a baby with somebody before it was time to have a baby, you've probably had similar conversations, and that can be hard. That can be emotionally hard for you to be excited about this life and you decide you're going to keep the baby, and everybody's like, are you sure? Are you sure? Because they don't like the baby's father. It took a lot of prayer. And honestly, my friends were everything. My best friends, my friends from college, I had a solid circle of ladies in my life, and they helped pregnancy not be so hard. And it didn't mean there weren't nights where I cried, nights where I woke up with the worst Charlie horses in my legs, times where I just felt like, why me, Lord? But it just made it easier to have that circle of people that really loved me and was not making me feel even worse than I already did. Aside from that, to be honest, I kept myself busy with work and school too. And work and school were fun. Like, I still tried to make my senior year feel as much like a senior year as possible. I still went on spring break with my best friends. We went to Tampa that year, had a good old time. I still did a lot of the activities that took place senior year, like homecoming, with friends and things. I wasn't drinking. I wasn't able to go party, but I still was able to get out and enjoy the last little bit of being a young single woman. My advice is to just, if you're a person that believes in God, definitely keep him first. Start going to church again. Start streaming a church service. If you feel embarrassed and you go to a small church and you feel like people are going to be looking at you, stream a church service online so that you can stay grounded in God's word. That's the first thing. I'm giving you advice that I actually followed. Stay in touch with your friends. Your friends are going to feel like family during this time, because your family may be a little too much. Especially if you have your parents around. They might be a little too much at times. Keep the drama away from you. Like, my pregnancy got better because I just separated myself from the drama as much as I could. Now, after Josiah was born, I had a little more drama. But during the pregnancy, I was just like, look, I got too much going for me to be focused on that. And the last thing is just forgive yourself. Like, that's probably the hardest one. Like, don't blame yourself. Things are not going to be perfect, and that's okay. The sooner that you can accept that things may not be perfect and that your family will be different, the sooner it will be that you can start your healing process. Forgiveness is very difficult when someone has wronged you. There's so many scenarios that can play out that can cause two people not to work out. But the sooner that you can forgive yourself for allowing behavior to continue for a long time and not moving on before you got pregnant. That was my thing. It's like there were so many signs, there were so many instances with that relationship where I could have walked away before I got pregnant. We stayed together after my son was born and got back together, and it got to a point where I had to be exposed to, an STD. And I told that story on my channel. And that point was when I really did stop and I never turned back. But there's always signs. And that's the thing. The STD thing shouldn't have even happened because of the stuff that happened when I was pregnant. Getting pregnant shouldn't have happened because of the stuff that happened before when we broke up for like the fourth time and we were on a break like that. There were things, and that's the thing that will really bother you the most. You'll probably be blaming yourself like, I could have done better. I shouldn't have accepted XYZ. Look, you don't know all the time, or maybe you do know, but you just are in a low place for whatever issues you have. And that's why you have to go into a place of loving yourself and working on yourself so that you won't put yourself in that situation again. And once you get there, you can forgive. Now, it's different. You might see red when you see that person, especially if they didn't show up for their kid and, you had to do everything. That's a level of frustration that I definitely understand, but comes with peace when you genuinely move on, where it's like you kind of get to it, well, it is what it is. I'm going to focus on what I can control. And that's another advice that I would give you, even during pregnancy. Focus on what you can control. You cannot control the life of another person. You cannot control the life of another person. You cannot make this person do anything that they don't want to do. You can't even control the life of your baby. The baby's going to come when they want to come. Your baby's going to have a personality once he or she starts talking and walking, and you can't make anyone do anything. So you definitely can't make your son or daughter's father do things that you want them to do. You can't make them think like you. You can't make them act like you. You can't make them take it as serious as you. You can only focus on how you react to what they do. So that's my advice. I hope that this was helpful. Please share it with anybody that you know is going through a rough time in their pregnancy or even just had a baby. Again, I do have a full playlist with advice, and it's been really helpful to many people. I get emails and DMs all the time. And if you have any questions, comments, drop them in the comment section down below. I want to say thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see y'all in my next one. Bye.